Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with the Rivals of Ixalan pre-release pack. We know we've already seen some of these being opened already on MTGO, but we are here at the pre-release and now it's paper time, so let's hope we can get some pretty sweet synergies in this box. Usually I'm pretty terrible at opening pre-release packs. I always seem to get like 3 or 4 colors that are good and 1 color that's awful and nothing really that stands out. I'm not known for opening bombs in this nonsense. Not a huge fan of sealed. I like draft a lot better, but we get a white dice. That's always a bad sign because who plays white? No one plays white. Just kidding. We like white. Soul Sisters is great. Hey! We get one of my top cards from my top 10 cards I want to brew around, which is the Winged Temple of Orazca / the Hadana's Climb. So this is actually going to be a powerhouse if we can build around it. But this is the worst thing new players can do, is become married to the first thing they open. This is such a typical new player thing. The first thing they see, automatically their brain just gets completely streamlined or pigeonholed or whatever, tunnel visioned of building around that particular card. So let's try not to do that, but it is a very sweet card. It has a lot of value in Limited, extremely good value. Let's start with the boring cards first that we already know exist, which is the Ixalan, and see what our 2 Ixalan packs. So it looks like it's 4 and 2, so 4 rivals, 2 Ixalan. And then we have the Queen's Commission. This is a great enabler for the vampires. We have Blight Keeper, Worthless Pirate, Conquistador. We'll set that aside because the other sets have a lot of Conquistadors, higher chance of getting Conquistadors in them. We have the Ixali's Diviner, the Prosperous Pirates, Demystify, the Bloodletter, which is pretty sweet for the vampire strategy, Demolish, another vampire, and a Field of Ruin. We have the River Sneak, which is insanely good synergy with the Hadana's Climb, and a Savage Stomp, which will go in any green deck. We have another flip card as far as the Arguel's Bloodfast, which is pretty good and limited. Not a bad card whatsoever. So right off the bat, we're getting some pretty sweet strategies set up. This was a good pack, I would say. Nothing that stood out too much there, but a lot of cards that go in certain decks. So not a lot of filler there. You never want to see lots of filler cards in your pack. So speaking of filler cards, here's the Skyblade Legion, which actually is okay. The Heartstopper, which you can give it Death Touch, so this is actually a very playable card. Dual Shot can go in a number of strategies. Commune with the Dinosaur is good if you're in Naya, but usually isn't that great in Limited. Sailor of Means is alright. Run Aground is one of my favorite cards in Limited at the moment because it puts it back on top of the owner's library for 4 mana. This is removal. Anointed Deacon, this works insanely well in the vampire strategy and a Pirate's Cutlass. A lot of people think this is one of the best cards in the format. Vanquish the Weak is going to be a premier removal spell and a Jungle Delver. So far, again, it looks like the Ixalan, we have a Merfolk Branchwalker and a Fell Flagship, so not bad at all. I mean, this card's extremely playable. So right now, the blue-green strategy does look like it is doable, and the other one's white-black. What we've seen so far out of these packs is red is pretty weak, very weak. We have a Demolish, which isn't playable, a Fathom Fleet Firebrand, which is a filler card, and a Dual Shot is all we have for red. So red is pretty much out of the question with those 2 packs. So we'd have to really rely on what we get out of Rivals. So first pack of Rivals is going to be a Sailor of Means. This is one of the cards that was reprinted in Rivals of Ixalan. We have the Swaggering Corsair, which gets the counter. This isn't too impressive of a card. Hey, another Legion Conquistador. So now it actually is worthwhile playing Legion Conquistador. We have the Orazca Frillback, the Fathom Fleet Border, which is a pirate that enters the battlefield. You lose 2 life unless you control their pirate, so it's just under cost. We have the Orazca Relic. It's good if we need to ramp into something. A Gruesome Fate, which each opponent loses a life for each creature control. If we go wide with vampires, this isn't terrible. Seekers of the Golden City, which can draw 2 cards. If it sees Blessing, you draw 3 cards instead. A Jungleborn Pioneer enters the battlefield to create a 1/1 Merfolk with Hexproof. This is actually a really sweet card. And some anti-vampire stuff. Destroys vampires or enchantments. It would be a sideboard card. A counter a creature spell. And to create a colorless treasure, not a bad card either. And we have another Reaver Ambush, exile target creature with power 3 or less. So how is this different from Vanquish of the Weak? Is it basically the same thing as Vanquish? Where'd Vanquish go? Destroy target creature with power 3 or less. Exile target creature with power 3 or less. So they reprinted this card in the set. That's crazy. Do you notice that, Zach?
What's that?
The Vanquish of the Weak and Reaver Ambush.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's the exact same thing, except one is Exile, one is Destroy.
Wow.
That's getting kind of boring. So black is looking super sweet with the removal package. Did I even get to the... Did I miss a card there? Now that I got all excited about... oh yeah, here we go. We still had the... Where'd we go? Now I'm all over the place. Because I got... So... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Where'd the rest of that pack go? Well, here it is. Here it is. Oh, wow! I'm glad that we kept looking at this pack because we have the Everdawn Champion. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Everdawn Champion. This is a bomb in Limited. Absolute bomb. Because combat damage is going to be the most thing. So it's going to be this huge thing. It's always going to trade nicely. And I don't have to worry about getting my commander, buying it, because I open up in the first Rivals pack. So Etali Primal Storm. So far, there are 0 points to running red. This is okay in Limited. It's just a 6/6 for 6 that can have some upside, but it's going to miss a lot because you tend to be a higher land count in Limited than you would be in Constructed, percentage-wise. So it's going to hit a lot of lands that are then useless, and I don't know, it's pretty powerful, so if we can splash it, we can splash it. But still, white-black is looking incredibly good, and blue-green is also not terrible. Like, it's the second best strategy so far, I would say, be green-blue Merfolk. We are having a lot of the pieces really start to set up. I mean, look at the Merfolk Branchwalker and the Hadana's Climb right there. That's an awesome strategy. All right, so we have a Brazen Freebooter. It's okay. We have a Divine Verdict, another great card for our white-black deck. We have the Spire Winder, as Zach kicks my camera and make everyone go dizzy. So this one's okay, flying 2/3, not bad at all. We have a Dusk Legion Zealot, which is basically the Elvish Mystic for vampires, another reason to go into it, really good. A Hunt the Weak, another +1/+1 counter type strategy. Another Relic, another Grasping Scoundrel. So if we get enough Relic, maybe I'll try to go Etali to ramp it out. A Scoundrel, Human Pirate, gets +1/+0 attacking, good card. Our first Dinosaur, I don't think we've besides Etali, we haven't seen a lot of Dinosaurs. This one gets a 1/1 green sapling every time it gets enraged. We do have the dual shot for it, but not a lot else. And the Talani's Crown is good. Yeah, it's a good enrage, and it's just a 3-mana enchantment. Not bad at all. Enter the Unknown. Target creature can explore, so you can play additional card. We get another Enrage enabler with the Raging Regisaur, and Shake the Foundation. Another Enrage enabler. So that's actually looking interesting. And the Direfleet Poisoner, it goes in our strategy of the... that's a foil too, so we still get a rare. Awesome. So, kind of weird. The rare is after the flip in this set. So anyway, this goes super good with our black white strategy, and it's going to go in any black based deck. And we have the Path to Metal, another Enrage enabler, which also gets pretty good if we can flip it. But I haven't seen a lot of cards so far that actually work to flip it. So we're all over the place, which is exactly what I predicted. There are a lot of strategies that I think are very viable with the packs we've opened, but at the same time I still think white-black is the most powerful. So Sun Sentinel, Fanatical Firebrand, not a bad card. A haste, that actually does get the Path to Metal. We have the Swaggering Corsair, we've already seen that one. A Plummet, which is a great sideboard card. A Recover, it's a good filler card. You're 21 to 23. Another Anti-Vampire. Another Pioneer, so add this to our Merfolk list. The Buccaneer's Bravado, which can be insanely good on a Pirate. A Grasping Scoundrel, another Pirate, so we have a decent little Pirate strategy going. Another Seekers of the Golden City. Another Forsaken Sanctuary. The Strength in the Pack, which is super, super juicy in Limited. A Nettletooth Raptor, which has Enrage, deals 5 damage to our creature opponent controls, so another insanely good Enrage card. And the Temple Altasar, which is a pretty good in the Dinosaur strategy. It actually does not really. I don't think we have a lot of white dinosaurs at the moment. We didn't get any from the Ixalan packs, though. So, man, this is going to be tough to build a deck. This is the last pack. Let's hope that this pack has something in it that really puts me over the top in one of our archetypes, because I think I'm definitely leaning towards white-black, and still blue-green is the other alternative. We have the Raptor Companion. We have a Negate. We have a Sun-Collared Raptor, Trample 1/2. Hunt the Weak, another one for removal for a green-blue strategy. We have the Dinosaur Hunter, deals damage to a dinosaur, destroys it for 2 mana. Another Cleansing Ray. Another Jungleborn Pioneer. Wow. Another Buccaneer's Bravado. This looks like it's... Yeah, we got a duplicate pack here up to that point. The Highland Lake. Maybe we can splash Etali if we go green-blue. The Imperial Ceratops that gains 2 life every time it gets enraged. Another Reaver Ambush. And we have the Release to the Wind, exile target non-land permanent for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may cast it without paying its mana cost. So it's a nice little flicker type effect. But this pack absolutely did not. Yeah, so what in the world? A Minecraft Pyromatic Pixels. Oh, is this just an advertisement saying there's a new skin on Minecraft? This doesn't even let you, like, redeem it? I was going to say, if there had a redemption code on it here, someone could actually use it because I don't play Minecraft. So anyway, that's our, basically our polls. Nothing too juicy. We have a lot of a lot of key removal pieces, a lot of good playables, but we'll separate this around and then I'll get to the deck list. Okay, so this ended up being kind of disappointing, but it definitely is better than a lot of pools that I've had before for limited. What this deck has going for it's got an awesome curve. So end up going black-green. Now there is a red-green looks interesting because I think we do have some enraged cards that make it worthwhile. The 5 damage to an opponent every time, or a creature every time it becomes enraged, is pretty good. This card's pretty sweet for what we have. We have double Hunt the Weaks, 1 Savage Stomp, a dual shot, another one deals 1 damage to each creature without flying, a dinosaur that can attack every turn and do a damage to it. So a part of me really wants to go into red for this Needletooth Raptor, but I just can't get over the curve of the black-green. All of these cards have a very aggressive, for their converted mana cost, they are usually the ones in the slots that are better than the other cards in the slots from the format. We are very vulnerable to things that do 1 damage to each creature, for example, because of the 3 Grasping Scoundrels. But I think it's pushed me towards green-black. It's where we have the most oomph out of the colors. So disappointing that the 2 colors that we got were the red, blue, and the white, black. Couldn't get the green, black one for making the mana fixing a little bit better. White ended up not going white because the only real playables in white that I had were the 2 Legion Conquistadors, the Paladin of Bloodstain, and Queen's Commission. The rest of the white, actually, when you look down to it, not a lot of things that are just too tempting to even want to play. So that's why white got the cut. Blue is kind of similar. You can see that blue just didn't add a lot of creatures. We have a sorcery, instant, sorcery, a 2/3 snake. That actually gets pretty good later on as a 3/4. Another instant, a sorcery. 2 of the sailor means a prosperous pirates and a river snake. So I just don't think there was enough here in limited. You definitely want more creatures than not because you can't rely on like a control shell. Unless you have some really, really good finishers you can rely on coming down and finishing off the game. And we absolutely did not get those type of cards in our pool. So blue's out of the question, white's out of the question. Leaves us with red. Red was pretty interesting with the pirate package. And as well as with all the enablers of the Enrage. We did have like the Buccaneer's Bravado, 2 of the Brazen Freebooters, 2 of the Swaggering Corsairs, and a Fanatical Firebrand, as well as a Fathom Fleet Firebrand. So there was some decent little playables, but I mean, this is just weaker than, say, the Jungleborn Pioneer that puts out a 1/1 token with Hexproof and a 2/2. In my opinion, the Jungleborn Pioneer is just stronger. And the upside of the other green cards are just a lot better than what red has to offer. I mean, red-black would be my second choice to go into. Sometimes when in doubt, aggro out. That's the saying I like to say in limited. If you have a pretty weak pool, just go for the aggro strategy because there will be many decks that can't even deal with it. There are... now that those are out of the way, though, let's just talk about the deck that I have before you. The cards that didn't make the cut out of green: Enter the Unknown, Plummet, Jungle Delver, Commune with Dinosaurs, Ixalan's Diviner. Those are just weaker than other slots in the deck. The Overgrown Armasaur also I don't think is on curve with this deck. It does work well with the Hunt the Weaks and the Savage Stomps, but I'm deciding against it. Arguel's Bloodfast I think wants to be in the sideboard. And the Hadana's Climb, I don't know if it's worth screwing up my mana base by splashing blue for maybe one. The River Sneak would be the other card that I would splash in because we have 3 of the Jungle Pioneers that would give it +2/+2 on curve. So you'd be swinging in for 3. So the Hadana's Climb works really well with the Sneak in both of these scenarios. So if I do splash in blue, it will be very, very subtly, maybe like a Run Aground and a River Sneak. But it really does, in an aggro deck, going 3 colors just messes up your ability to really push through. So Hadana's Climb is insane, though. It gives the ability for a creature to, every turn, even if you don't want to flip this, you just continue to put +1 counters on stuff. But I just don't think that it quite made the cut. I'm also going to cut 1 Hunt the Weak, just because I want to be at 24 and 16 lands with this curve, and I think we have plenty of removal. And this is something that could easily be swapped out for one of these Vanquish or Reavers. So Hunt the Weak is in the sideboard for the moment. Again, red, it breaks my heart not to run both of these, the Etali and the Raging Regisaur. However, I don't see myself going into red at the moment for what we had. I think I'm going to be very successful with this aggro package. So onto the deck. We have at the 1-drop, this is why I love this curve, 1, 2, 3, pump, punch, punch, punch. Really, really fast, as all these Grasping Scoundrels are basically 2/1s. They attack as 2/1s. It gets +1/+0 as long as it's attacking. So we're coming out the gates with either a aggressive 1-drop or an evasive, or at least something that's hard to block because it has the ability to gain Death Touch. So evasive 1/1 flyer, a 1/2 Death Toucher, or everything that's 2/1. Our 2-drop slot, we have a Merfolk Branchwalker that's often going to be either 3/2 or give you a land. So it's going to help. It's going to draw a card or be big. We have the Dusk Legion Zealot, which is the Elvish Mystic, just going to draw us a card and put out a creature. Then we have the Direfleet Poisoner, which is on curve with one of our Scoundrels, can actually protect one of our Scoundrels, or just even give it Death Touch to take out a blocker. It has Death Touch itself, 2/1 flyer, not bad. We then have the Dinosaur Hunter, which is a filler, but we do need a few more pirates because we do have a sub-pirate theme here. So onto our 3-drop slot, we have the Orazca Frillback. I like these 4/2s for 3 and limited. Yes, this will come out in decks that it's weak against, but with our removal package, this guy is going to be very evasive. So getting in for 4 damage is very, very pivotal. We have the Jungle Pioneer, which is going to go double duty with 2 of our finishers. So it's going to put out a 2/2 and a 1/1 for 3 mana. We have 3 of those. We have a Fathom Fleet Border, which is a 3/3. If we have a pirate, it does not cost us 2 life. If not, it's a 3/3 for 3. And we have the Skymarch Bloodletter, which is another 2/2 evasive flyer that will dish off a damage. So you can see how we're getting into there for that early damage. How do we back it up? We back it up with our removal package of getting rid of early creatures. So this is going to get rid of anything with power 3 or less. Destroy/exile those cards with the Reaver Ambush and the Vanquish the Weak. Then we have 1 of Savage Stomp and a 1 of Hunt the Weak. Can make our evasive creatures a little bit bigger if we can kill off like a 1/1 and then make our guy a 2/2. That's not that bad. Savage Stomp is just a better version of Hunt the Weak. And then we have the Pirate Cutlass, because this curves very well with our pirates. Makes them 2/1. It'll immediately attach onto it, then can give our other guys the ability to become bigger. And this little gem, I usually don't like Fell Flagship, but we do have enough pirates to make it worthwhile. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually we only have 5 pirates in this deck now I'm looking at it. But I do still think it's worthwhile to run the Fell Flagships. It's a 3/3 for 3. It'll pump up these early pirates, and then we can crew it for 3, which the whole reason behind that is it makes our Jungle Pioneer pretty sweet. Also, if our opponent does not block it, they discard a card. We practically get to rip out their hand. And then onto our finisher. The Gruesome Fate usually is going to do between, I'd say with this deck, between an average of 4 to 6 damage out of 1 card. I think it's worthwhile as the finisher. If the board state gets clogged up, this is a good one to finish it off. And they strengthen the pack. This is a 6 mana spell, put 2/+1 count on each creature you control, so you can see how well it works with the Jungle Pioneer. So that's why it's tempting to kind of go this Overgrown Armasaur with the Hunt the Weak, so you can then put out a 1/1 sapling, a 1/1 sapling, a 1/1 sapling, and then finish it off with the strength of the pack. But for now, I don't think it quite makes the cut. Same thing with the other additional Hunt the Weak. I think the removal package is solid. I think another Hunt the Weak is just going to be a bit of a liability at that point. So who knows, beyond the tournament, if I switch it up. We do have a nice little ramp package with 2 of the relics. I don't know if the Anointed Deacon wants to be in this either, or if going into red is the right, or splashing blue is the right call. I'm not quite sure, but I think this is a pretty solid deck. I'm happy with it. I should have some success with it. I typically don't like to go aggro in limited because it gives you the least options to outplay your opponent, and in limited, where you have a huge advantage between skill bases, between more experienced players like myself and kind of people that don't know what they're doing. Like, if you play the control route, I think you have a huge advantage over the vast majority of players. So yeah, so for that reason, I don't usually like to run aggro. I'm a lot more successful when I go into mid range or control. But this curve is just too beautiful not to want to go into. So I'm happy with it. Let me know in the comment section what you would have gone with my pool. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.